Well, good Saturday morning, everybody. It is June 12th, and we are going to jump into the 20th chapter of the book of Acts today. We're only going to look at the first 6 verses, though, verses 1 through 6 today. If you remember, Paul is still, at the beginning of this, he's in Ephesus, and we just had all that crazy stuff going on with Demetrius accusing him and them getting dragged into court, per se, and the city mayor kind of putting his foot down and said, break it up, stop this nonsense. But the angst against Paul and against the way has not disappeared, and so today Paul's going to kind of get out of Dodge, as they say. He's going to take off and leave because, excuse me, Paul's presence is just a little too much. Actually, it wasn't Paul drugged before; it was some of the others drugged before the assembly. They kept Paul out of it, trying to keep it from getting too hot. Remember. So let's jump into chapter 20, verses 1 through 6 this morning. After the uproar had ceased, Paul sent for the disciples, and after encouraging them and saying farewell, he left for Macedonia. When he had gone through those regions, and he had given the believers much encouragement, he came to Greece, where he stayed for 3 months. He was about to set sail for Syria when a plot was made against him by the Jews, and so he decided to return through Macedonia. He was accompanied by Sopater, son of Pyrrhus, from Beroea, by Aristarchus and Secundus, from Thessalonica, by Gaius from Derbe, excuse me, and by Timothy, as well as by Tychicus and Trophimus from Asia. They went ahead and were waiting for us in Troas, but we sailed from Philippi after the days of Unleavened Bread, and in 5 days we joined them in Troas, where we stayed for 7 days. Okay. Excuse me. I apologize. Here, one of the first things I want to point out is we talk about Paul and his Jewishness and whatnot, and not that long ago, remember, we had the whole thing with him getting his hair cut and dealing with that Nazirite vow. Well, here he is coming up on the day of on the time of Passover, and he's getting ready to to set sail, but they can't sail that first part of it. They sail from Philippi after the days of Unleavened Bread. That's Passover. So, and in 5 days we join them in Troas. He's obeying the don't work at the beginning, don't work at the end of the 8-day festival of Passover, the days of Unleavened Bread. So Paul is being very much an observant Jew yet. That seems like kind of an aside there, but it actually does give us some information about what's going on. Back up, though, a little bit. The Jews, Paul is traveling, and it says by the Jews. Some translations say by the leaders of the Jews. We don't want to look at the Jews as a monolithic thing, as being against, opposing Paul. It's the leadership more than we don't want to become anti-Semitic. We don't want to become an anti-Semite. That is not something we want to do ever. And then we have this list of names, and all of these fellows that are traveling with Paul, and it's kind of an all-star cast. They're from various different places. And we are also given the indication in verses 5 and 6 that Luke is with them too, because it says us and we and we and we. So Luke, the author of Luke and Acts, is with them as well. So we've got a group of people traveling together, quite a group now, it seems like. I think more are listed than normal here. And is that because of they're worried about this plot of people coming after him? Or is there something else going on? The thing we have to remember is there's probably more than one thing going on. But we have to also think about, though Luke doesn't talk about this, Paul's been picking up a collection for the church in Jerusalem as he's gone along. And as he's been back to these churches that he started, he's been collecting this offering to take back to Jerusalem. So it's no doubt he's carrying with him this offering, and it could be a considerable sum of money. So he is starting to have more and more people travel with him to protect him from those that might want to rob them. And it could even be the Jewish leadership, and out of their jealousy, the secondary thing is that, hey, that money should have been going to the synagogues or what have you. We don't know. We don't want to assume those things. But Paul is traveling with a group of people. He's not doing this alone. And I guess that's the the thing I want you to remember is that we are traveling with precious cargo. We're traveling with the Word of God. This is a very precious good, much more precious than anything anyone could ever have, isn't it? It is the value of your salvation, and we aren't set to carry that treasure alone. We are supposed to be working together, and that's what they're doing here. And we are dealing with an all-star cast. These guys are from various different parts of the world, aren't they? You've got somebody from Derbe and people from Asia there, people from Beroea, and then Luke, where is Luke from? I can't remember. But at any rate, we've got people from all these different places coming together, all-star cast. You never know who you're going to be working with in this world of God. You don't know. The most unlikely person might be working with you to build the kingdom. But the bottom line is we're not supposed to be doing this by ourselves. We need to join together. We need to work together. There's times we're out there on our own talking to people individually, but we need to come together to encourage one another, to protect one another. And that's what church is about, folks. Coming to church service is because you come together to reassure, to re-strengthen one another, and to reaffirm to one another. We don't come together to bicker and banter. Unfortunately, that may be what some people think, but we need to strike that from our assemblies. We need to get rid of the bickering and the bantering. We need to try to find ways to work together, and we need to kick the egos out of it, which of course is not easily done, and I can attest to that. But that's what we're supposed to be doing. It's an interesting little transitional piece here. We're going to get into Paul's farewell visit to Troas tomorrow, on Monday. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. It is Saturday, so it's hopefully a little shorter devotion today. Don't forget, we have a very, very special day tomorrow. We have Jim Mullen coming to speak to us, and then we're going to have a potluck after church. So bring a friend, bring your family, bring people you love, people you don't like. I don't care, people you hate. Bring somebody, bring everybody to listen to Jim Mullen. He is part of the Billy Graham group, and so he is a wonderful speaker and a wonderful opportunity for us to hear the Word of God from a very, very devout soul. And I'm going to go to get ready to actually go and meet Jim here in just a little bit, to get to know him today a little bit and get to visit with him. And I'm looking forward to that greatly. God's blessed us. So it's just an example of coming together, kind of like what Paul had here. People from all over the world, all different levels of people. We talked about someone that was worked internationally, and have somebody that's worked internationally come to Little Lake City. That's just a huge blessing. So if you haven't done it yet, get on the phone, run over to your friend's house and tell them you need to come to church tomorrow with me to meet this guy, to see this guy. And you get a chance to meet him at the potluck. You might be able to sit down at the same table and have coffee and a cake and lunch with him. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Be a blessing to someone today. Tell them about church tomorrow, for crying out loud. Bring them over to hear about God. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.